And welcome back in to Against the Suits, the gambling segment here on The Hard Count. Glad to have y'all dialed in. Presented by BetMGM. If you're wondering why I'm wearing some shades, because winners do what they want. And guess what, y'all? We were winners last week. 5-1 for our picks. The At Your Own Risk hit. That's a smooth 83%. Now, if you go 83% in anything in life, vibes are pretty good. 83% behind the arc in basketball, I mean, you're a Hall of Famer. 83% in Major League Baseball, you're definitely a Hall of Famer. 83% on your taxes, they might have some questions, but we went 83% last week, 5-1. Do we do it again? As always, fade or follow. We got 5 picks for you and an At Your Own Risk for some extra work. Let's get this thing started, all right? We'll take off the glasses because we're all business now, all right? We're not trying to be complacent and get into the rat poison side of things. First pick on the board for us, Baylor. Going all the way up to Highland Park to play the Ponies at SMU. Right now, it's a road game, but is it really? Hour and a half drive from Waco up to Dallas. Listen, I saw Sawyer Robertson last week playing darts against Auburn. I think he's a dog. I think that Baylor plus money is hilarious. Go ahead and keep your points. Baylor money line. Go ahead and lock it in. First pick of the week. We feel great about that. I like SMU. I like Rhett Lashley. A lot of magic last year. I don't know if the magic carries over, so we'll take Baylor money line and make no apologies for it. Now, here's a quick disclaimer as we move on to the rest of our picks. It's going to be gross. It's going to be absolutely just grimy, sicko stuff. A lot of unders, a lot of situational unders. I'm talking first half. I'm talking first quarter. If you had a heavy lunch, I apologize. If you have young children in the room, pause this video and say, hey, it's going to get gross. Get out of here. With that being said, Michigan-Oklahoma is the BetMGM game of the week. We want to have action on the biggest game, which is this game. I don't have a game total. I don't have a first half total. I have a first quarter total. We're taking the under 10 on Michigan-Oklahoma. It feels weird. It feels wrong. Go with it. Do not trust your intuition here. Go with it. All right? This is going to be 2 new quarterbacks in a raucous environment. 2 great defensive coordinators. Little Wink Martindale and Brent Venables. Huge, huge spot. I think it might take a second for both these guys to totally get settled in. You know, I love John Mateer in the flow. I love the Bryce Underwood aura, but I think it's going to take both these dudes a second to all the way get dialed. And honestly, if Michigan wins the toss, both teams might get 1 possession to keep it a buck here. So the under 10 points on Michigan-Oklahoma, it's sicko stuff. Go with it. We love that. We're rolling with that right now. Now another under. Another under next up on the board. I tweeted out, too. I said, hey, listen, a lot of unders, a lot of gritty over pretty stuff this week. And someone tweeted back at me and said, betting the under is un-American. No. Losing is un-American. And that's not us on this show. So the first half, under 22.5 in Vandy and Virginia Tech, or Va-Tech, as we call them on this show. 2 just gritty program guy quarterbacks. Kyron Drones, Diego Vandy, Pavia. It's going to be a lot of running the ball. It's going to be a lot of 3rd and 4th and short, a lot of extending drives, maybe settling for 3. I love both programs. I love both quarterbacks. We're taking the under in a limited possession special in Virginia Tech and Vandy, the under 22.5 in the first half. I know it's gross, but we got to keep going. Another full game under here, all right? Call us the Undertaker. Akron at Nebraska. I love me some Zips, man. Love Nebraska, but the total is at 47.5. Listen, the unders were good to us last week, so clearly we're going back to the well. I think the Nebraska defense is better than what they showed against Cincinnati. I also think that the Nebraska offense, if Nebraska wins this game, and I expect them to win this game, I think we all expect them to win this game, I don't think it's a situation where the offense goes for like 50 points necessarily. I think it'd be like a nice, smooth, call it 34-3 kind of game, 34-10 kind of game. Bottom line, we like the under 47.5. Very, very cheeky, kind of threading the needle here. Dylan Raiola, go ahead and ball out, brother, but don't ball out too much is my point here. So under 47.5 for the Matt Rule coach Nebraska Cornhuskers hosting the Akron Zips. We ball. Last pick here for us, then we have an At Your Own Risk. So it's the last pick of our 5 right now. FIU at Penn State. I told you it's gross. 30.5 is the total in the first half. That's a lot of points. It's like a point a minute. You're telling me there's going to be a point scored every minute of the first half at FIU at Penn State? I don't think so. Give me the under. Cash that in. I love Drew Aller. I love James Franklin. I love the offense for Penn State with what they have with those transfer receivers. But 30.5 points, unless FIU's got just some explosive weapons I don't even know about, unless Pitbull's out there just finding a way to tilt this game towards the Panthers. With that being said, we'll take the under 30.5 for the first half. Feel real good about doing it. Again, I told you, it's gritty over pretty. It's going to feel weird. You got to search a little bit harder to find these totals. BetMGM has all this. So get locked in over there. Use code HARDCOUNT2 when you sign up to get right. Last one, the at your own risk play. Again, if you just want to go with those 5, no sweat. Those are the 5 that I feel the best about. But I said this last week, I'll say it again. Your boy here has made a both athletic career and honestly professional career off doing the extra work, doing the extra stuff. We're doing a couple extra reps during squat. We're staying a little bit later at the office when it's time to get locked in for the season. Caden and I in here reacting to games at 2 a.m. The at your own risk extra work for us this week, fade or follow, is Duke +3 at the crib against Illinois. I like Illinois. I like Brett Bielema as I give that qualifier to why I'm going to pick against them. Illinois, man, got the bullseye on your back. It's a privilege. It's an honor. You've earned that right, but here's the deal. It's been a minute since Illinois has had that kind of a bullseye on them. And Darian Mensah is making himself a check and a half to be the quarterback at Duke. Proved it in week 1. I like Duke +3. I mean, if you're feeling super cheeky, you can even go ahead and say sprinkle money line for Duke, but I like Duke +3 in that spot at home. The Fighting Manny Diaz's get a win over a good Illinois team, but I think that moment for what it means for Duke and the house money they have and what Illinois, I think, has got themselves hearing throughout the course of this offseason. They're this year's Indiana. They're sneaky. They're this to that. Give me Duke +3 at your own risk. Feel real good about that. So I want to recap these, then bring on our very own Caden Smith to tell us where we're right, where we're wrong, and all that and the like. So Baylor moneyline over SMU. Sicko stuff the rest of the way. First quarter total for Michigan, Oklahoma under 10. Vandy Vautech first half total under 22.5. Akron game total under 47.5. Penn State, FIU under 30.5 in the first half. That's a point a minute. Don't see that happening. Then at your own risk, the extra work, if you will, Duke +3 in Durham against Illinois. Cato, I trust you. I trust you with my life, right? If something went down tomorrow and I needed someone to raise my daughter, you're in the Fave 5, okay? You're in the Fave 5, and it would probably be like a bidding war from there. But tell me what you like, what you don't like from that slate heading into this week.
Yeah, per usual, someone has to keep you honest here. That's going to be me. Should have followed you more last week. You had a stellar week last week. I'll give you that. So only 2 fades this week, I think, when we look at this whole slate. And we'll start with the good news first. Caden Smith already has money on Baylor money line. Like, that's happening to me. You can get that at +110 right now. I got it at +120 because I took a little bit earlier in the week. But last week, scored 42 points. 2 of those were off pick sixes. Like, okay. I don't think SMU is going to be what they were last year. They lost a ton of production, kind of had a restock from the portal. Baylor, they lost a tough one to Auburn, but I kind of liked how the offense looked, especially Sawyer Roberts in the pass game. I think it's going to be something that's going to take SMU a second to adjust to, and I think Baylor is just a little bit more battle tested in this game. So I'm going to take you on that one as well. We're going to follow you with Baylor. Oklahoma, Michigan, first quarter under. That's going to be one of my fades. 10 points is an interesting spot. I think you don't have to really squint to see this happening. I love a first quarter bet. It's very exhilarating. It's almost more of a coin flip than anything. But when you look at Michigan, starting off 14 points in the first quarter of their last game, running the ball extremely well with Justice Haynes. That's kind of uncharacteristic for Michigan. I think that'll be more of a trend this season overall. On the flip side, Oklahoma only scores 7 points in the first quarter of their last game, and I think that's going to be a point of emphasis for them to try to get things going. And on top of that, Jaden Ott, 1 carry in the last game. I imagine he'll be featured more in the offense, and I think both of these teams score in the first quarter, and I think they can both combine for 10, one with a field goal, one with a touchdown. So I think that one's going to be close. Probably your most down-to-the-wire pick, I think, out of all of them. But I'm going to do a baby fade there. I could see a 0-0 first quarter. You know me. A lot of jitters in that first kind of big game of the year. I could see it very easily being a 0-0 win and you walk into the sunset. But I'll fade you there just to keep you honest. And
will you take any 0-0s this week? Is there any 0-0 play of the week for you?
Not yet.
You're a 0-0 guy.
We'll have to get in the lab. We were so close last year a couple times. Should have taken it last week with Texas Ohio State, but I'll have that play more when we do this segment throughout the year because 0-0 first quarter is just one of the most exhilarating bets of all time, and this is our year where we hit a couple of them. I have no doubts about it. But moving on, we have Vandy at Virginia Tech. Love that one. We're going to follow that one, the under 22.5. When you look at the game last year, it was that thriller, 27-34 in overtime, but the first quarter, only 20 points in the first half. Sorry, the first half last year. Only 20 points in that one. So I think that's something that happens again potentially. I love an under kind of tied to Vanderbilt just given the way they kind of run the ball, tick, 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 tick. The clock's going to be your best friend in that one. And on top of that, Virginia Tech hasn't touched the paint this year. They scored off of field goals and a safety against South Carolina in that first game. I don't think they have like an extra dimension to their offense they can unleash the way Oklahoma can, where I kind of had a different philosophy for a team that started off slow. So we'll follow you there. We'll also follow you with the Akron and Nebraska under at 47.5.
My guy.
Very interesting one there. Akron 10-0 lost to Wyoming last year. Last week. Another team that still hasn't touched the paint yet. Love that for that. And on top of that, Matt Rules isn't really a guy whose teams have scored a ton of points. He has 2 40-point games in his career at Nebraska right now. So I think that's going to be one of those ones where they might whoop them up, but I don't think Nebraska is going to be some high-flying offense. I think most of the onus for the scoring is going to be on them, and I don't know if they're going to pull their own weight there. So I'll follow you as well in that one. I'm also going to follow you with the FIU Penn State one. I love the point per minute one. That's a very funny and good take. I'm not going to act like I know much about FIU. I could see this one going either way. You have the hot hand, so I'm going to follow you there. But on the last one, the at your own risk, it's a risky play, but it's a risk I'm not going to take. I'm going to actually fade you there. I'm not a huge Darian Mensah guy. I thought he got a little overpaid, and I watched Tulane last year. I'm a big John Summerall guy. I think the reason they let him walk is because, quite frankly, John Summerall, if you look throughout his career, he doesn't need great quarterback play to win. He looks like he's going to get that now with Jake Retzlaff, who kind of just fell through the portal to him. But I think Darian Mensah is a good player, not a great player. I think that Illinois has those expectations, like you mentioned. I think they're going to have more of that eye of the tiger, feeling like they're a playoff team. And ultimately, it's just a Big Ten over ACC bet for me. Manny Diaz did a fantastic job last year. When they played at Ole Miss in that bowl game, we saw how that went. It was pretty ugly. And I think Illinois is a lot closer to that versus what they have this year. One of the top returning teams in production this year. Luke Altmaier is a just steadfast leader. So I'm going to take you there. I think Illinois, fade you there. I think Illinois is a pretty good team. But overall, just 2 fades. One's a baby fade. I think the first quarter of that one will be good. But you have the hot hand right now. We got to listen to you for sure. And I hope that the people just partake in this. I think 5-1, we could have won you some money last week. So let's keep winning, man. Let's stay up.
Let's take down BetMGM, man. Like, let's see if we can't just, obviously we take them down to where then the partnership even grows stronger. And it's like, hey, please stop giving out picks. BetMGM, the buy, the X in between, buy the hard count. I'm just saying, I think that itself could just be maybe what America needs to finally find just healing.
I think the potential here is, if we rip off another 5-1 week, when does BetMGM come to us and they're like, hey, we'll boost this.
Stop doing this.
Boost it.
Yeah, maybe so.
Just boost it. I think we can. I think at this is early in the season now.
Early.
We're trending towards just boost this for us at MGM. Come on. Look at what the boys doing right now. Early production. They say, Joe Platt said this, they say that teams grow the most between week 1 and week 2. So last week could have just been the beginning for us. So we'll see.
Or is it, teams get better week 1 to week 2, therefore the logic we used last week doesn't apply as well to this week. Like if we go 0-6, we said it before we got on the air, if we go 0-6 this week, the shades will not be in appearance. But that's not going to happen. So again, fade or follow, use code HARDCOUNT, get yourself dialed in over at BetMGM, taking care of the people, taking care of us, all the lines, all the spreads, everything, all the totals. A first quarter under, are you kidding me? BetMGM, they got you covered. Cato, one more question for you, brother.
What's up?
The people have been clamoring. You've heard of Mike's way. You've heard of Marcus's way. You've heard of all the different ways you can. You heard of Pay way. You heard of the Yaki way. The people have been just an angry crowd chanting, saying, hey, need it Cato's way. If you have to put a substantial amount of your good faith into one play this week, what is the play that you're rolling with here?
So I have several bets out there right now, shamelessly.
Let's rock.
I told you I already have Baylor. I love that one. That's a little bit more of a risky one, a money line. It pays better, so it is what it is. I have a parlay out right now If you think Oklahoma is going to win, which I do, I have a money line parlay with Oklahoma and Arizona State both winning. Arizona State is playing Mississippi State.
Okay. I like
That will get you. I got that at plus 117, so I like that. But if it was like
one
death beam just pointed at us,
and if we don't get it, they take all this. I mean, this microphone gone, our cars gone,
God, the pressure,
our reputation gone.
The pressure is on. The pressure is on.
This is it. This is for country and family.
For me, the one is Ole Miss covering against Kentucky. That one I got at -10. It is now down to -9.5. So I'm disappointed there. I don't know what BetMGM's seeing there, but to me, this is a Kentucky team that edged out Toledo in a 24-16 win last week. Obviously, Ole Miss is going to have revenge on their minds following that upset loss. I think Austin Simmons and Lane Kiffin are going to try to run up the score on a one Kentucky Wildcats. I don't think Kroger Field is necessarily an atmosphere that's going to rattle one young Austin Simmons in his second career start, his first SEC career start. We saw him go between the hedges and deal. He's going to have 4 quarters of doing that against Kentucky, so I feel pretty good about that. So if that's my play. You can get that at 9.5 now instead of the lousy 10 I got it at because I thought I was getting ahead of the curve and thought it might move in the opposite direction. But nonetheless, give me that one. Give me Ole Miss covering
Stamps
against Kentucky.
Stamps
-9.5 to the Rebs.
Good teams win. Great teams with college graduates cover. With a college graduate at 19 years old playing quarterback, which is, of course, Austin Simmons, out there in hotty-toddy country. Cato, best in the business, man. Appreciate you. And appreciate y'all making this show what it is. Again, BetMGM bringing you the hard count, bringing you against the suits. It is college football season. Get locked in with BetMGM. Get taking care of us, taking care of y'all. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we take care of y'all with these picks. So for Caden Smith on the ones, the twos, the mic, and the Las Vegas, and for myself, Duty PicKell, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Get at me on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at Duty PicKell. We will keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time.